Hi, I'm Kevin. This is my dad, Mark, and this is a 1973 MG Midget owned by my Uncle Ron. Follow us as we try and get it back to a running, driving vehicle.
Got some parts delivered, so I just wanted to show you and compare them to the old ones. So this is your original clutch. I actually took that off and flywheel. It doesn't seem to be scored at all, the flywheel, and the clutch still is thick, is almost as thick as the new one. This middle section is loose and beat up. This clutch does not appear that worn, especially when you compare it to the new one. These still have a lot before they get down to the rivets. So I'm not exactly sure if we needed to do that or not, but we did it and it's off, so there's no point in not putting the new one back on. The throwout bearing, which this is your old one, it's all ground down. You can see it's really ground down, because if you look at the two, it's very different. So it actually, Scott must have been running it and actually been in the metal. Not only do you have the ceramic piece, but he burned through the metal piece as well. This is definitely the piece we needed. The master cylinder, this is your new one. Sorry, this is the slave side. That's the bad one. I think our master is still good. This was all gummed up. I don't know if you can see in there. It's a mess. This is where it was leaking. This is pretty much the same size. I know this is a cheap little aftermarket one. It's not actually the British product, but it looks the same. Got to get that bled, which is going to be the headache. My concern is that your pin, push rod, when I looked it up, this appears to be for a newer model midget. The 1500cc has like a 3-inch one, and this is a little under 3, 2.5/8 or something. This is the one it's supposed to come with. So maybe that's some of the reason this wore out quickly. The Clevis pin is on back order. It was supposed to be delivered today. Sounds like it's one of your neighbors in Florida, Clevis pin. These are really bad in shape, so I don't want to try and save them. I wanted to get new ones. This is back ordered. Another dust cover's back ordered. But we've got enough parts to continue on, and that'll be the next job. So, Ron, out here again today. The clutch master cylinder must be gone. I've got zero resistance and it never builds up any pressure whatsoever. It's been so many years without any fluid in it, the O-rings it's just blowing right past them. So I'm going to change it out. I bought another one. I'm going to change it out and see where we're at. I can't find anywhere that that you need to bench bleed it. But while it's out, before I get my hand stuck in that small little space, trying to bench bleed it inside the car, I'm going to do it out here. It can't hurt. I'll do a couple, get some bubbles out. I've got a little system set up. As you can see from the end in there, if we pump it, it should get bubbles to start to come out. Good morning, day 2, no progress. So I bench bled it to give us a little bit of an advantage. Didn't really help. I spent, I think, 6 hours yesterday trying to get this to bleed, and I'm not even getting fluid down the copper pipe. I tried pulling the slave cylinder out and blocking it and everything that everyone suggests on the web, but it's not just me doing this wrong. Everyone has this problem. It's the bane of everyone's existence. This is at the strangest angle. This copper tube and this fitting here are higher than the reservoir, because it sits at an angle. The air is just getting trapped in here. Obviously the pedal's not enough to push it. I've tried a vacuum system I had for brakes to suck fluid down. That was not enough. And so the other object is pressure. So today we're going to try pressure. I'm going to fill that little reservoir with more fluid, and I'm going to first try to fill the hanging cylinder because that's such a big volume of space. If I get the fluid in there, that'll help a little. If I can get it to weep out the top, much like changing the lower end unit in a boat, then I'm going to put the slave cylinder back on the housing, on the bell housing, hook it all up so there's going to be resistance and stuff when I hook it up. Then I'm going to either do pressure down or pressure back up through the bottom. Okay, quick catch up. The slave cylinder is now back attached to the bell housing. I put a pressure on the top of the master cylinder and it pushed some fluid out through the pipe, which I was not getting with the pedaling of the clutch pump. So I preloaded that copper line. I preloaded the hose and the slave cylinder. I built this little cap and with a hole in it and ran a hose down through it, and now I can pressure from the top. Now I'm going to go see if I can break the bleeder on the other side and push liquid into a glass jar without any bubbles. I have no bubbles coming out, but I don't have anything as strong as a pressure plate to push against. But I am getting movement. I think we're going to have to install the motor to see if we got all the air out. It really feels like we did. But if you can see, I can get it to move. Boy, it does not look. I don't know if you can really see that. It looks better in real life. But it is moving. Hey Ron, how you doing? We're here this evening to try and shoehorn this motor back in place. We've got the clutch kit back on. We've got the hydraulics kind of working. So our big goal today is to get the engine in, maybe exhaust system, starter, a few little doodads here and there, but just basic stuff so that I can continue to pick at it. So Kevin's here to help me figure out a way to wedge this back in place. Ron, I don't know if Kev join in if I forget something, but we've basically got it sitting in there. We've got both motor mounts in place, although they're not tight and they're not bolted in, but they're touching the frame or the body, unibody. We've got a majority of the bolts in. I think we've got 2 more to do around the bell housing to the engine. It slides back in. Next thing we're going to do is get these motor mounts squared and the starter in, and possibly the exhaust system. We've got the exhaust on. Kevin put the fan and the fan belt back on. The starter's attached, but we got to wire it still. The bolts are on the housing. But I think for today's goal, we've got everything done. Later on this week or next week, I will start picking at little things, and I got to fix that radiator. That's the next big effort, is to solder that tip on the radiator. We did this in about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, and it's still light out, which is a big bonus. So before Kevin left, I had him try to hold one wheel down, and I could not spin the other when it's in gear, which is awesome. That means the clutch is engaged. But when I pushed the clutch pedal down, it did not disengage. And I've been stressing about it. I'm like, is there still air bubbles trapped, or is it something else? So I've wedged the rear tire because Kevin's not here. And I'm going to try and prop this camera underneath to see if I can see if the slave cylinder is moving when I press the pedal. I don't have the fancy tripod camera stuff that Kevin has, so I've got this thing propped up with some boards. I'm going to go push on the clutch, and you tell me if you see it move because, well, I'll be up there. Okay. So that's down, down, release, down, release, down, release. Doesn't seem to have a lot of grip. Down, release, down. I pushed it down, and all right, so let's see if that moves. I'm going to watch the video. You don't have to text me. All right, so I'm under here. I took the pin out because I thought maybe there was a difference in size and the length. This one was a shorter push rod. This is as far back as it goes, and so if I line them back up till the hole goes in, there's some resistance. And so it lines up beautifully, and it does. There's no slack in it when the pin's in. But now I'm thinking under here, or laying under here, I'm thinking maybe there is some air bubbles in it. I'd show you real quick the old one compared to the new. The new one's the shiny one, if you couldn't figure that out. If you can see the end here, it looks like someone soldered a copper piece. It's not quite the same color as the rest of it. Is a trick to make it kind of last longer? Is that what happened? Is that why Scott's was all worn down in the metal because it's the wrong size? My gut tells me that someone extended it, but why is mine not releasing it? It's almost like there's air bubbles in it doesn't give me enough pushing power. I think I found it. There's a drip. When I pump the clutch pedal and depress it and depress it and depress it, we've got a hole in the line. Yeah, I've tried both sides. It's not leaking from fitting or anything. It really is just popping out the line. So that's why she's not holding any type of pressure, and I wasn't seeing bubbles before. More parts, more deliveries, more shipping. Hey Ron, look what we got. New hose. It was a great delivery time. It basically took about 4 days. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't expect it for another week. So today, we got a rainy day, but I'm working on my Jeep, but I thought I'd just change the hose. It's the reverse of what we did before. Maybe I'll do some bleeding tomorrow with Kevin. I'm not sure if I'll get to that or not today because of the Jeep problem I'm having. But just changing the hose, letting you know. Bye.